And the first one that I have listed on here, and I have examples of searching, is Eric. So notice that on this page right here, that I do have an example of a basic search. This is what a basic search a lot of people could do in any database. Although a lot of people don't put the word "and" necessarily between words. So this person was doing technology and teaching elementary school. Anybody interested in that? Yeah, just one person, huh?
Middle or high school.
Yeah, middle, high school. Again, you can choose whatever your topics are, right? All right, so in this case, that would be great if you're looking for something along those lines. You'll notice that an advanced search, where I'm searching multiple databases at one time, using things like truncation, multiple endings to word, and then joining or asking for any words that could possibly mean the same thing, that's a more advanced search where you can limit to the subject and you can also limit to full text, scholarly, and things like that. So let's do a search together where we're using advanced search in ERIC. So what I want to do is actually have everyone go into the ERIC database. You can go right from this guide. So if you clicked on ERIC right at the top, it'll take you to the ERIC database. And can anyone tell me, everybody see how to get to that? From the ERIC, if you're at the top of the one that says finding articles, choose a database. ERIC is the first link, and you can just click on that and it'll open up to that. Okay, so what would be the first thing that I would recommend that you do right away that looks different from the others? Go ahead, say it out loud. Advanced search. Everybody see advanced search right here? Right here? Okay, click on advanced search and you're going to notice that it's going to open up a couple of different lines for you and also give you some limiters that you may or may not know about. All right, so let's say that, how many of you are planning on teaching high school? Anybody going to do middle school? All right, but so secondary education. Is anyone not doing secondary education? Okay, everybody in here, secondary ed. Okay, so I could do secondary ed right here, secondary education, and I could stop and look for that keyword phrase, but what did we mention earlier with Credo that was a good thing to do? And any database, when you have a phrase, put it in quotes. Okay, so notice that if I do a search by itself in just the keywords, there are 319,000 articles, okay? All right, but if I put quotes around this, if I put quotes around secondary education, I do the search again, you're forcing it to find those words next to each other. And look, it dropped 3,000 articles already. 316,000. You're saying, well, that's way too many still, right? Well, actually, you want as many as you can get before you start focusing. So I would ask you, what is another way to say secondary education? I'm going to put an "or" on that same line. And if I gave you $5 for another word, you want $5, huh? What would be another word that would describe that or the people that you're teaching?
High school.
High school, okay. So I'm going to try high school. And what am I going to do with high school?
Quote.
That's right, quote. See, you don't need me anymore, do you? Okay, high school and a quote. Okay, and now I'm going to say, you know what, there's still another thing I think is a really good one. Who are these people that you teach in high school? Who are they? What's that? Teenagers. Okay, so I could do teenagers, or I could do what with that word? Go ahead.
Teen and do an asterisk.
I love it. Teen and an asterisk or a star. Okay, so now it's going to find teens, teenager. Yes.
Adolescent.
Oh, okay, that's also a good one. Adolescence. So you could try that. So I'm going to do or adolescence. And notice that I'm going to do a TS, but I could do what? What if I wanted CE, though? What would I do then?
Adolescent.
That's right. Right at the end then, right? So I could go to the end, and I could do the star now, and now I'm going to get multiple endings to that word. All right, so I'm going to do the search again very quickly. Yeah, there's more. There's more, but yes, I did an or, and notice that there is more because of the or. And you're thinking, why do I want 377,000? I had 316, and I thought that was too much. Well, that's a good question. Do we want all the articles that just mention these keywords, or do we want the articles to be about secondary education or about high school or about adolescents, not just mentioning them? What do you want?
About.
You want it about. One of the things you can do over here on this drop-down arrow on the advanced search is you can actually ask for SU descriptor or DE. SU means subject in ERIC. In other databases, it'll say SU and it'll say subject. All right, but SU as a descriptor do your search again, and you'll notice that it's going to go from 377,000 to 333. In other words, there were 40,000 articles that just mentioned those keywords, but when an expert was describing the article, they said it wasn't about them. Well, that's still too many, right? Well, that's okay, because we haven't asked what we want yet. We want what? What topic do you plan on teaching? History, math. All right. Okay, so you can pick one. All right, so I'm going to try math. I'm going to do mathematics. Okay, again, what would I do? Well, it's only one word, so you don't need quotes, but that's good. Quotes are for phrases. What could I do with this word? What do I want to do with this word? Is there another way to say mathematics? Yeah, what is it? Okay, yes, arithmetic. That would work, although I don't think they're going to call it that in high school, but they would in elementary, right? Okay, but still, go ahead. You're on the same wavelength. What kind of math? Yes, okay. But what would I do with this word?
Just put math.
Yeah, truncate, right? I'm going to do math and a star, and he just said a type of math. What was it? Calculus. So calculus, right? And what's another type of math maybe that you would be teaching in high school? Algebra, okay. Well, generic. Well, let's pretend like you're everybody here right now. All right, algebra. Okay, does this make sense? Now, I don't know if I want to truncate this at all, but I have math and truncated, or calculus, or algebra. Again, I could do the search again, 333,000. How many of them were about secondary education, all the words that mean the same thing, but mention the key words? Math, algebra, or calculus. Now it's 33,000. See, I just got rid of 90% of them. What could I do to make it better? Do I want it to be mentioning math, or I want it to be about the subject math? Okay, what do I do?
Select the field.
Okay, so I can select the field, do the drop-down arrow. I'm going to try SU again, do the search again, and now it goes from 33,000 to 24,000. Okay, so it's going to keep on going down. Now, what are we talking about with calculus and secondary education? What are we talking about doing? What are you looking for when you're doing your research? Better ways to teach it? Teach, okay, that'd be good. Anything else? What's that? Being creative with it, and keep that in mind for a second. That could be like a fourth thing, right? So if we said teach was one thing, I'm going to say and teach. What can I do with the word teach? See, you're going to hate me asking this question all the time, right? Okay, what's another way to say teach? Instruct. And I could do instruct with a star, couldn't I? To get instruct, instructs, instruction. Okay, or what's another one? Educate. Okay, and these are all examples that I have on my guide already. I'm just going to move away from this for a second. Remember this right here? Basic search example, I didn't have any of that. I go down to the advanced search example and look at the examples that I have here. Of course, I was using technology as an example for the first, but I have teach or instruct, but you came up with educate, elementary or child, and we instead used high school or secondary education, things like that, teens. Okay, so going back to our list, I have teach, instruct, educate. Whoops. What do I want to do with that? Okay, I've truncated it. I can do the search just as keywords again, and now I still have 24,000, but if I ask for the subject of teaching, instruction, education, it means that the keywords are going to come up somewhere here. It still loved it. 24,000. It was, we're in an education database, so it's going to come up with that. All right, but you said something else. What if what I wanted was I want to know the best way to teach math or calculus to secondary education's students, and I want to incorporate creativity? Well, then, glad you asked. You see this right here where it says add row? You're going to add another row. You're not going to put it on the same line, because on the same line it means the same words. They mean the same thing. Creativity and instruction are not the same thing. And all you have to do is watch some people and you'll know. Okay? No. Oh, you didn't catch that. That's right. Moving along. All right, so I'm going to say creative. All right, so let's do creativity. Creativity. Okay, again, what could I do? Where would I put that? At the end of the V. Creative. Whoops. Creative. Okay. Let me try it again. Creative, right? And now, again, I could ask for it as a subject, or I could do just the keyword first. I'm going to do the keyword. 24,000 went to 507. Now I'm going to ask for the subject of creativity. Just wanted to see if they have it listed as a subject. And now it goes from 507 to 205. All right? This is why you want a large number, 300,000 hits, when you're talking about high school, because you're going to focus and narrow it down by adding these other things, these lines. So, and math, and all the words that mean it, and teaching, or the words, and creative, and then you can do some other limiters. Yes?
Now these articles,
Yes.
are these all electronic or do they have some paper?
That's a very good question. We did not do the limiters yet to determine whether it was full text available or just in paper or even if it was a journal yet. So what you want to do is now look on the left-hand side. Look on the left-hand side of this particular database search results, and you're going to see that you can refine your results. So let's go ahead, since we do have over 200, let's go ahead and limit to the full text. And let's say that your professor says you have to find 3 scholarly journal articles that deal with this. Then you can choose peer-reviewed, and there'll be another thing you can choose. But does anybody want to look at the 1959 article? Because you notice this? It says that the results are 1959, to 2012. So if you're not interested in that, I mean, you might be if you're doing comparison, creativity, what they do back in 1959, what are they doing in 2012? Well, you could change that. You can either just copy, and you can cover that up and type in the year, or you can use this slider right here and just slide over to the year that you want. And I'm just going to say 2006 to 2012 and click on update. So now, to answer your question, we went from 200 and something to 9 articles that are full text, peer-reviewed in the last 6 years. And if you wanted to, you could actually ask, well, it actually tells you right here that all 9 of them are academic journals. Because Eric has something called Eric Documents. Let's say that your professor and I, Dr. Curran and I, we go to the New Jersey Education Association conference. We do a presentation and a little publication. They publish it within the proceedings. That can be published as an Eric document, not necessarily within a journal. Right, so now you have 9 right there. And you could certainly take a look at those. And you'll notice that all of those are going to be available full text. Some of them are going to say full text from Eric. Some are going to say get it at Rider University Libraries. Some are going to be HTML full text. These are just different ways for you to obtain the material. By the way, the Get It at Rider University Libraries is a fairly new thing, part of our discovery tool. So if you haven't seen that before, it's okay. But if you click on that, what it's supposed to do, we're in beta on this, is it's supposed to link you directly to the article within another database that wasn't possibly one of the EBSCO databases at all. So certainly not Eric, which we're looking at right now. Let's see if this works. It's trying, and okay, it said mathematics teacher. It did not have it full text in any of our databases, but it did tell you that we currently receive it in paper downstairs. So we do carry it, but you'd have to physically come in. I know, you know the building with the clock tower at the top? That's the library. In there, we actually have thousands of journals, magazines, and newspapers, again, right below us. So you will have to come in sometimes to get the physical item, right? So that's what that link is for. So even though we didn't have it full text in Eric, it's trying to tell you that there are other places to get it. All right? Does this make sense? Okay, what questions do you have for me? Yes?